If you will be given the chance to go to another country outside of your home country, would you choose Korea, or you're inclined to choose other countries and other region, other continent? In my case, I'll be very honest with you. Actually, I won't be choosing Korea if I'll be given a chance to restart and go back to my 2000 self. But I think I chose Korea during that time because of practicality and because of it's near to the Philippines. During that time, it was before the pandemic. I was already planning on applying for the Global Korea Scholarship Program and exploring my opportunities abroad. I had this notion of I had enough experience from the private sector in the Philippines, gained a few knowledge about the public sector in the Philippines, and I found myself always looking for something bigger. It may not be the case for you, but during that time, I felt that I can explore more, and my world in the Philippines was too small. And I think we all of us have this kind of notion that sometimes our environment is the one that's limiting our progress, our growth. And I felt that way when I was in the Philippines, especially the fact that I graduated from college, I was able to immediately find work, endured life in the private sector with a very minimum salary. It's above minimum, but very hard to use and divide into different expenses. And then got a job into the government with a regular job. It's not just a contract, which is hard to get, especially the Philippine government system works differently, that there are plantilla, what they call it, plantilla or permanent jobs. At the same time, there are COS or contract of service. And fortunately enough, I was able to get the plantilla level, which is a good thing, especially for citizens, because that's one of the best employment in terms of security of tenure. Meaning, best in the sense that unless you do something bad, you can continuously work in the government until retirement, which is really, really a great thing if you want to retire in the Philippines, because you'll be receiving the same salary as same pension amounting to the same salary. And that's a good thing if you are aiming for stability, at the same time more of looking at it on a very long term approach. I'm not saying it's long term, actually it's more of a until the end approach. Because long term for me is like 10 to 15, but like if that's the case, I was 25 back then, and I would have to work for almost 40 years since for me to be able to retire at the age of 65. And I have seen my parents, my mom especially, she did her service to the Philippine government and she's now on her retiring age. And it has its benefits and it has its downside. And one downside would be having higher position, because the job slots are kind of limited. That's one thing. Those circumstances, I find them very limiting. And my best option going abroad is not actually working, because I don't want to spend so much with the finding of job and placement fees, which is very usual for third world countries to apply with placement fees. And the best way I saw myself getting out of the Philippines is actually through scholarship. So there are so many scholarships around the world. You have Australia Awards, you have Chevening Scholarship, Fulbright Scholarship, you have DAAD, you have Scholar Erasmus is also available. Japan has its mixed, China has CSC. Thailand, I think they also have the scholarship from the government, the Thai government scholarship. We also have Europe, aside from Erasmus, each country has their own scholarships. But what stood out when I was looking for scholarships abroad is how easy it is to get to South Korea with the Global Korea Scholarship Program. Since I don't need to present topic, I don't need to provide IELTS, because back then, even until now, they're not required documents. However, even if you have those documents, there's no explicit preference given to those people and students with these certificates. So it's even playing field in a sense, and I think during that time it's not that popular. So I was able to squeeze in and probably find my slot and got the scholarship. It's not an easy thing if you'll ask me. But again, I was able to do it, and fortunately, I'm here in South Korea now working. So I'm going back again to my motivation, why I wanted to go back. It's because I needed a change. I felt that the environment in the Philippines was too small, that I got developed easily and expanded my space, but internationally, I had more things to do. And we have this imposter syndrome that we are far greater than who we are, that actually affected me a lot. And that's why I decided to change. And well, I mean, on economic standpoint, the Philippine salary was very small compared to what I am earning here in South Korea. So I'll be very honest with you with this weekly podcast series I'm doing. So in the Philippines, my last salary is equivalent to at least around, in Korean won, probably 900,000 Korean won. I'm not sure how much is it in dollars. Wait, let me check. So I got this salary. Okay, it's like, okay, it's like 600 USD for a month in the Philippines. Thinking about it, how small it is compared to my salary now. Okay, in Korea, so in Korean won, it's around 841,000 Korean won. And to put things in perspective, I can earn this 800,000 Korean won in, let's say, for one part-time job for like 5 hours a day. I was able to earn at least 500,000 Korean won for 5 hours of mentorship. That's almost more than half of what I would earn in a month in the Philippines. And this hits home because my second reason of going to the Philippines is actually the need for me to increase my income potential. And it's one of the reasons why I think Korea is getting more attractive, especially for third world country citizens. I want to use, though I find it very hard to use that word third world, but for lower income countries, this is a very big motivation. If you ask people from the Philippines why they go to South Korea, it's their number one answer. Not K-pop, not Korean drama or Korean music idols, it's the income. Because you will not be able to get the salary of this much, like 3 million Korean won per month in the Philippines, amounting to at least 120,000, if you're not in high ranking position, which is not available for everyone. So again, income potential is it's my key driver of why I wanted to go to South Korea, or I mean internationally, not just South Korea. But again, that was the case. I need to increase my income potential because in the end of the day, I have to spend. I had to take care of myself, provide something for my family, give gifts, these things. It's expensive. You won't be able to afford this with such low salary. And again, that's one of the key motivators. I'll probably be daring you. Try asking people in South Korea working here, especially from those low income countries, why are they here in South Korea? And probably 99.9% of the answer would be because of the income difference. And I know it's very difficult because it's a different language that I have to use here. Don't believe in the news when they say that in Seoul or in Korea, they speak a lot of English. That's not the case. It will take a lot of years for it to change, and until now, 2025, that's still not the case. If you come here with no Korean language, good luck finding job. even finding school or anything else. Systems are in Korean, phone calls, insurance, visa, everything is in Korean. They are translated, but again, the value of the Korean language supersedes the value of English in terms of truthfulness. And considering the fact that they speak Korean in all the places here, it's a must that you speak Korean if you want to enjoy your life here in South Korea. Yesterday, I went to Cheongju. I'll be giving you a side story. I went to Cheongju, and the funny thing is, there is no English there. I mean, I'm not expecting it. So I know for a fact that I have to speak Korean. Thankfully, I do. Not fluent, but I still can communicate. That's one thing. And that's very helpful. It changed my life. Korean language changed my life in South Korea. And again, it's very difficult because English is technically the opposite of Korean in terms of grammar, structure, and content. But again, that's part of the learning process if you want to live here in South Korea. And that's actually another reason why I was hesitant of going to South Korea. But despite that fact, I still decided to go because the scholarship package included a 1 year Korean language training program. And if I chose Australia, if I chose UK, I don't have to retrain the language because I speak English, not considered as native, but on a fluent level. But at the same time, here in South Korea, I can do that. Speak a little English when communicating with some of my foreigner friends. But because of the training from the Korean language school, I can equip myself with additional learning, additional language, which could be useful for me in the future. And I find it very useful now in my current job. So that's one case. And I was about to say something, I forgot about it. Oh yeah. So when you choose Global Korea Scholarship Program, it has no return service. Meaning if you finish the program, you're not obligated to go back to your home country. And that's very, very, very good for my case. Again, I said I wanted to go out and explore life abroad. And how I'll be able to do that if after studies I have to go back to my home country? And that's the reason why I also decided to go to South Korean GKS. But there are other scholarships here that could be applicable for you. But I'll be talking about those things in my Haja episodes, which will cover more of the scholarship program and less of these weekly digest for you to watch. Well, aside from the fact that I have to study in Korea, another reason why I decided to go to South Korea is actually the fact that Korea needed more people. Yes, they hire foreigners for other jobs, for like factory work, farming, but in the end of the day, even cities would dry out of people. And if I'll be able to position myself in the right way with the right package, I think I can find my place here. And that's what's happening now. I was able to find my place in my current company because of what I did in my Korean language classes and in my MBA program, which is I did good in my MBA program and then did okay during my language training program. So that's another reason, because the demand from South Korea is there. So it's not just me wanting to go abroad, it's Korea also demanding for foreigners. And based on my understanding, this Global Korea Scholarship Program is their way for Korea to attract foreign talents without even indicating that they need foreigners. Because in the end of the day, again, if you graduate from Korean institution, you have already an advantage when it comes to your visa, finding jobs here in South Korea, because you'll be able to learn the language. That's always been the key. Education from South Korea, learning the Korean language, adjusting the Korean culture. That's important. And because of the scholarship program, again, I was able to get those trainings and eventually land my job here in South Korea. So it was difficult, but I was able to prepare well, and then it helped me where I am now. And it's not easy. That's why I really value the concept of preparation, especially when going abroad. Not just to South Korea, this extends to other places that you want to go to. You need to prepare financially, physically, mentally, even your relationships. Because in the end of the day, once you go out of your home country, the concept of home actually changes. It's like I became a foreigner in the Philippines, but still remains a foreigner here in South Korea. In the end of the day, I consider both countries as my home, but I'm homeless in terms of where I think, still believe I belong. Not sure if it's making sense, but I know you're getting the gist, because once you leave your home country, you leave out of your home country, you take away some memories, you take away your relationships, you take away your family. But when you go back, it's different. It feels different. Something changed, like the way you see traffic, the way you see stress, the way you see deliveries in your home country, even the way you see internet speed, the way you see the weather, the nature. Everything changed, especially if you experience the life living in a first world country. And that's the fact. I think. I'm not sure again, but I think that's something. Moving abroad changes everyone. I saw this post in one of the social media apps saying a person who has undergone life abroad, visa changes, relationship building, learning new language, adapting to a new culture, fears nothing. It's like when you were able to adjust to things beyond what you imagine that you are adjusted into, you are a changed person. You won't fear anything. Although I fear something, but the fact of the matter is I was able to do things on my own, and it changed to me, for hopefully for the better. Because like after this Korea stint, I actually don't want to think about it yet, but it's coming, I'm sure, because things are changing. What I mean, it's coming to an end. It's because we don't really know what will happen in the future. The best thing we have to do is prepare for it. Like, even if we don't know when it's gonna happen, we have to prepare for it. Be it our contracts and our visa expires, our desire to work abroad ends, our fire for growth ends or diminishes. It's there. It's a fact of the future. And before I end this podcast, I want to make sure that when you decide to move abroad, not just in Korea, but anywhere outside of your home country, is that you are prepared. And in the end of the day, this is a decision that you have to consider, and it will affect your life. Hopefully for the better, but if for the worse, you know where to start. Because again, moving abroad will change you. And the best way for you to do it is actually stick to your why. Why am I actually moving abroad? Why am I exploring opportunities outside of my home country? Why do I think I need to go out? Even if the system is not, because it's the system, because it's not working for me anymore. It's because I want to earn more. It's because I want to provide something more for my family. These reasons will play a very important role when you move abroad. And that's the end of our weekly podcast. I hope you learned something and enjoyed listening to this. Even if you don't see my face, you can listen it even if your phones are off. But again, thank you so much for listening, and see you next week.